Hello, my name's Jeff Abbott. I'm a pre-sale systems engineer with EMC based out of Manchester in the UK. I'm here today to get Gen4 certified. And basically what this is about is a report that was issued by Wikibon in 2014, which discussed in depth the evolution of flash within the storage industry and basically how we get to the goal of an all-flash data center. Ultimately, they said within that report that the only way to get to an all-flash data center was through the implementation or adoption of Generation 4 type architectures. Now, to understand Generation 4 architectures, we really need to understand the previous generations. So I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea. I'm in my kitchen. I'm going to put it into my favourite Liverpool mug. There it is. And then we'll sit down and we'll go through each of the previous generations and then position where EMC are with Generation 4. Okay, so I've got my cup of tea. Let's talk about Generation 1. And we need to go back to around about 2008 with this generation, and it basically was the introduction of flash into existing traditional storage arrays. And it helped for a while because the performance improved, and it's still the most deployed storage technology today with all the hybrid systems. But that really led then to generation number 2. Which is where companies like Nimble, Tintri, Tegile came into the market, and the value proposition here was really about ease of use. Big easy button being pressed to in and around the software and the tiering within that, promoting data up and down between spinning disk and flash disk. But it's still dual controller, still limited, still scale up rather than scale out. And because of this, Generation 2 really became known as the generation of insignificance, not massively different to Generation 1. So with Generation 3, this was the introduction of all flash arrays, and basically there was two sides of this one. You had your performance players in the market like Texas Memory, which is now part of IBM, and Violin, and then companies like Nimble and Pure turn up, who are more focused in around the data services, whereas Texas Memory and IBM were more about the performance. But although these are all flash arrays, there was still an element of limited scale because they're still dual controller, the scale up architectures rather than scale out, and you had to make a choice. You had to either go for one of the performance players like Texas, IBM or Violin, or go with Nimbus and Pure for your data services. But the two, you weren't getting the best of both worlds with those ones. So with the data services came high latencies, so you overheads, and you struggled with the performance, or you went performance and you didn't get the data services that were important to you as a customer. So Generation 3 got the name of the generation of compromise because of that decision making. Now, as we said at the very start of the video, to really get to that all electronic data center or flash data center, we need to adopt, companies need to adopt Generation 4 based architectures. And this is where EMC really comes to the front. We've rewritten the rule book, and we've got our Extreme IO offering. Now, Extreme IO is a scale out architecture, tightly coupled scale out architecture with always on inline data services like deduplication and compression, and it offers the lowest TCO and the highest performance within the industry. It's known as the generation of no compromise, and we fit massively into that name. You get both the performance and the data services, and it is true scale out architecture. Anywhere up to 16 controllers, and that number's only going to go up with iterations of the product. So yeah, Extreme IO will really allow customers to drive through to an all-flash data center. And yeah, Generation 4, generation of no compromise. Don't accept anything else. We're the people. Come to see us. We'll come and talk to you. Enjoy. Thanks.